Hello, everybody. Welcome to CONSERVATISH episode 108. My name is Peter Feliciano, and I am your host. And our guest today is Isaiah.
Hey, how you doing?
And did you want to plug your stuff? Or
I'm not a big social media head. Like I said, when I want to jump into it, I'm gonna jump into it strong. So
okay, so not yet.
If anybody really wants to connect and talk about things, I'll give out my Instagram, my Twitter, but. As you see, it's not even serious accounts. It's a little business stuff, so
right.
It's not too deep. No plugs yet.
Okay, cool. You can find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. On Twitter, I guess I barely use it, at Rule62Peter. And you can email me at conservatishpodcast@gmail.com. You can support this podcast at patreon.com/conservatish, or just Venmo me at Peter-Feliciano, Feliciano. And, go buy my album or stream my album right now. It's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on everywhere. It's on CD Baby, and worked really fucking hard on it, and I'm proud of myself. This is my second New York episode, and thank you so much for joining me. Here, put the mic a little closer.
I'm honored. Thank you.
So just to give a little backstory, I guess, how did you
find
me?
Dante Nero, the Paige Phillips show. It was a great episode. I love how you speak. I love what you're into.
Thanks, man.
Started following, and I'm not gonna sit here and claim I saw every episode.
All right, we're done now.
I didn't see every episode. I've caught a couple songs, I like to go all the way back to the 8-year-old stuff. I love the confidence.
Oh my
yes,
God, the 8-year-old
I like Mohawk Pete.
No, dude, why did you?
Yes,
don't tell me. I'm trying to. If there's one thing I'm trying to make believe that doesn't exist anymore, I don't want to get canceled over my sad Mohawk.
The journey is too great.
But I talked about that Mohawk just as I did have a Mohawk during different periods of my life, and during the last time I was so bald in this area and so thick back here, it would be like a rat tail right here, and it would be like very thin here, and I never gelled it, so it would curve over like an orca in captivity. It was very sad. It was a very sad Mohawk.
I like the era. I like to see where you came from. It gives you a whole view of everything. You're opening me up to music and everything. I'm taking it all in, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
you and what you do, just
right.
as a whole.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And I think you said something, and in your name was, or you sent me a message, and in your name was NJ. I was like, oh, Jersey.
Yes.
So I was like, hey, you're local, and I'm desperate for new people to interview. And you said something about, I'm one of those. I'm not a Connecticut Negro or something like. What did you say?
I said Canadian. I call them Canadian black guys.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not too weird about certain topics. I'm not super emotional about certain things. I try and think it through, but I'm not some Uncle Tom conservative. People could have that opinion, but I think I can try and explain why I think the way I think, and how it kind of mixes into my whole view of things.
So do you have an opinion? Who do you feel is definitely, like, do you actually feel like an Uncle Tom is really a thing?
Nah, it depends.
Okay.
But isn't someone just having crazy ideas is a thing, no matter what real topic you want to jump into or whatever the case may be. So I think at the end of the day, there is some conservative dudes that I'm like, yo, this dude's way too uptight. I may support how he thinks and his ideas, but I don't like how he presents them.
Okay, so who's one of those people who you feel like is a Canadian black guy?
If I had Don Lemon,
yeah,
Don Lemon.
Have you ever seen Joel Patrick?
Joel Patrick.
I like him,
I like what he says,
but he's a dork, dude.
Oh my God, perfect example, dude.
Like, he's one of those guys. Like, I just feel like he should try sleeping with a dude because he might like it a lot. I'm not saying he is gay. I just have a feeling like he would be a little bisexual, just a little. He's like one of those guys who dresses up in. If you haven't seen Joel Patrick, he's a black guy, but he's a conservative.
Good information.
And great information, and definitely snarky. Like, there was this one video where he he's got this giant truck with a giant Trump flag on the back. giant like orange, out loud truck, and there's these black guys coming out. This bitch nigga fucking look at it. He likes Trump, blah blah blah, and he blows a bunch of exhaust into their face. Really snarky, great, but cowboy hat, not just cowboy hat, but plaid shirt tucked in to jeans. That's where I have the problem, is when the shirt gets tucked into the jeans.
See, I'm a skinny black kid with glasses from Brooklyn, man. I came up with the dozens, man. You cut jokes, you rip ass, whatever you call it, bombing people, gunning.
Right.
Jersey too. It is what it is. So like I'm not with the whole snarky. If he said fuck you, nigga, suck my dick, nigga. What are you talking about? Like, I'm just same thing with white boys,
Right.
Steven Crowder, earlier, you said one of the biggest conservative channels.
Yeah.
Love the Change My Mind segments.
Right.
Calls himself a comedian. I don't think he's that funny.
Thank you.
I don't think he's that funny. I told you I'm plant-based. I think his positions on the plant-based things are a little...
You're plant-based?
I'm plant-based. Only because of the data. Same thing with the Thomas Sowell shit. It's the data. I can't argue. If I can't argue against it, it gets me. So I'm going to try it out. I like it. Feels good.
How long you been doing it?
Give it a year and a half now.
Wow.
A year and a half.
No ribs, no burgers.
And I'm a chitlin eating motherfucker.
Right, dude. Black people are the best at that shit.
You understand? I'm a chitlin eating motherfucker. Ribs, barbecue ribs. My grandmother's throw down, everything. Half down south, half Barbados. God. You understand? And I say to people all the time when they ask me, especially West Indian people ask me all the time, how do you do it, blah, 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 the typical stuff.
Right.
The secret is we are the best at fucking seasoning shit. You see the potatoes on the table.
Right.
It's inherent, so it should be easy for us.
Right.
There's people that make the case, like, you hear things like milk is racist. Interesting. Tell me more. Good argument.
Wait a second. You say you agree with it?
Not just like the fucking the hyperbolic statement of it,
all right.
But the case laid out that why are we pushing milk, things that the data may show damage people's health.
Okay.
And 75% of colored people are lactose intolerant. That's an interesting position. He's using the hyperbolicness of it. This man said this in front of the USA food guidelines.
Okay.
They let people come up and make their cases as to how the guidelines should go. So that was his whole thing.
So he said that statement as a way of almost like a comedy bit where like you say something outrageous and then you back it up afterwards.
Big Bill fan, by the way.
But at the same time, I don't think the impetus of the milk companies would be like the intention is fuck black people.
Exactly.
I think it's just...
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Of course it's not.
Okay.
Of course that's not their position. But, if I think if people are being dishonest, people are being dishonest. But let's talk about it. I don't care. And if people want to drink fucking milk, go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Who cares,
So you started off on this journey of, you grew up here in Brooklyn. You listen. You're like because I think a lot of there's especially in New York. You ever heard MF Doom?
Yes.
I fucking love MF Doom.
Big MF Doom.
Yeah, Doom. There's a lot of like rappers in that side of underground, which are like into comics and glasses and like both shit like connects. Street mixed with comic shit at the same time.
Mixed with conspiracy shit. It all mixed. I think a lot of rappers are fucking conservative. A lot of fucking gangster rap is some conservative shit if you think about it.
Right.
It's some
get money.
It's some male
fuck taxes,
male dominated.
Right.
Let's lead the household. Let's do strong things. Take care of your women, but don't
right.
let them
Property.
run your life.
Right.
Property. It all fucking mixes.
Right.
It all mixes.
Right.
So
and free speech too.
Yes.
Yeah. There's only been a couple
yes.
of rappers recently. Well, who's that fucking guy? I talked about him. Kendrick.
Okay.
How he brought that white girl up and then he shamed her for saying nigger like on stage, like even though it's his. He brought her up on stage. The song has the word a million fucking times in the song, and then he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like you're just showing off. That's all it is. It's like
I think the word they use is virtue signaling.
Yes, sir.
You're virtue signaling, and
right.
it's an interesting thing to do.
But if you're from the street, like where is the split off? That's what, like Patrice used to talk about, the golden handcuffs. Yeah. Where is the cutoff between like I'm real, all of a sudden this dangling check gets dangled in front of me, and I'm like, you know very, what? Fuck my values. Right. Where does that happen? What amount of money?
Who knows? I haven't seen a check that large, so I don't know. But I'd like to say the point of what I'm on is trying to stay righteous, as Patrice put it. I want to stay righteous. So, you know, I get that people, we could jump into how the whole big emotional manipulation is a big topic now, the emotional manipulation of black people. Okay. There's a strong case for that. And it's been over years. So as we...
In what ways do you feel?
You like to talk about white privilege, right? And how it doesn't, I believe you're a it doesn't exist guy, or it's not how people strongly put it. Or maybe it's not even white privilege. Maybe we're calling it white privilege and it's really just class privilege. Or it's just people trying to push their personal interests.
Well, here's where I'm coming from. I'm similar to Thomas Sowell and Larry Elders and a couple of other dudes. I think that a lot of us have privileges and disadvantages throughout our entire lives. But as an example, I'm like 40% white. So where does my privilege come in? Am I 40% privileged? Am I allowed to only say 40% of like the things I want to say? You know, and then it starts to get too far into the victim card. And like Larry Elders talked about, I talked about that story. You ever heard him tell that story, that poem?
Remind me. I've just been going through a lot of his stuff lately.
He tells this. I'm gonna butcher it, but he tells this poem. He tells this poem about how when he was in school, I think it was college or high school. The poem is something about how while walking through a Baltimore so small and full of glee, you know, this poet, this black poet, is spending the summer in Baltimore, and you know how. I saw a young Baltimorean keep looking straight at me, and he, you know, I was very small and he was no whit bigger, and so I smiled. But then he poked out his tongue and called me nigger. From May until September, that's all that I remember. So this poet is essentially saying, even though Baltimore was beautiful, that's the only thing I took from that. And then he's mad, and the teacher's mad, and all these people are mad, and it's just like, you know, he's Larry Elder. He's in school and his bullshit, and fucking, you know, he's gonna always stay that way. You know, Larry's talking about how the teacher was telling the whole class this is gonna scar him for the rest of his life. This poet. He goes home and he tells his mom that story, and his mom, who's cooking, turns to him and says, "It's a shame that he let something so small spoil his vacation."
Absolutely, and that embodies a lot of the whole perspective. You know?
So I'm not saying white privilege doesn't exist, but I'm saying lots of different privileges exist all over the fucking place. Just like, by the fucking way, just to get real basis on it, like real like animal, like what really, really matters on a day-to-day basis, you guys are better at food. You guys are better at music. You guys are better at, you know what I mean? Like all that shit, like, and you know, to be stereotypical, but I haven't seen a ton of Asian dicks that are swinging. You know what I mean? I'm just...
there's data to support the position in all different categories, right?
So I'm saying there's privileges and there's disadvantages. Colin Quinn, who's my favorite living comedian. Patrice would be number one for me, but Colin Quinn is second for me. And Colin Quinn, in his book, he talks about how white people can do incredible shit, you know, hang gliding and fucking boogie boarding and all. But as they describe it, they're boring. It's boring to hear about that. And a black guy could do nothing all day, and you're riveted when he tells you about his day. There's something about the soul, and the struggle almost creates the soul, I guess. But I'm saying, I think it exists, but at the same time, when people use it as, you know what, I'm already getting a check from the government. Everybody I know is kind of a loser and takes money and takes shit. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna. There's almost like a giving up that comes with it from that definition. When you get that label of I'm just a poor black guy who can't do any better. Fuck that, man. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's funny. Thomas Sowell is the type of guy who puts you on the shit like there's motherfuckers for this example. There's evidence of this across the world, across history, of people who are the black people in their situation, and they fucking overcome it, and they do better in certain places, and in certain areas they don't. Simple as that. So to sit there and have the mentality of I'm a victim, we see the evidence that never ends well, and a lot of people also use it as a tactic to play a fucking with their hand up your ass, because now you're a puppet.
I think Democrats do that a lot.
Hey, the case is strong. You know, like I said, I'm a YouTube guy. The case is fucking strong, man. We've seen the fucking pandering. I think recently I found out like Kamala Harris is for reparations. She's all reparations. She's all okay. Her father, it gets exposed. Her father has let it known that her generation owned slaves. So you gotta pay. You know, she goes on Hot 97 and goes, you know, I smoked weed and listened to Snoop and Tupac in college. They look at when she graduated. Tupac and Snoop didn't come out yet. Very, very interesting. And
very interesting.
You find these examples through
it might have been that old, what was that old Patrice used to talk about, that old freestyle that was on bootleg. Maybe it was that Biggie.
Who the fuck knows?
By the way, fucking Biggie over Tupac all fucking day. All fucking day. Tupac's important, blah blah blah, for poetry, blah blah blah. But his fucking style, his voice, the way he talked, Biggie, man. Anyway,
it's kind of like a Canadian black guy thing for me. I fucking.
You feel like Tupac was a Canadian black guy?
No, I lean more towards. I'd rather sit there and listen to some fucking Biggie than Tupac. More often, that's just me. But that's more often than not. That's what I want to listen to. I'm not a big Drake is dope, but I'd rather listen to fucking Bankroll Fresh. You might not know who that is. Just fucking Southern gangster rap. It's
similar to I've talked about it on the show too before, but I would rather listen to, even though I know that they're important, Tribe Called Quest is fine.
Yes, absolutely.
I would rather listen to Mobb Deep. I would even though Mobb Deep talks about the same fucking shit over and over. I had sex, I stole some money, I dealt drugs, and I shot people. Over and over and over. I'd still the fucking vibe. The vibe coming through the music is what I'd rather listen to.
Nobody fucking works out to Beethoven and Bach. All right? Nobody's in the gym lifting heavy weight to Beethoven. You know?
Right.
Me, I get a little crazy. Sometimes I'll put on some James Brown when I work out.
Okay. All right.
But other than that, like, I'm not gonna put on some classical. You get what I'm saying? So
is it hard to? Okay, so let's really. Where do you get protein from then?
Lentils, beans, legumes. Yeah,
man.
It's in everything.
I'm half Puerto Rican. I just like the only beans I like are carne guisado. It's guisado. That's the sauce. My aunt's been making it for me recently. Like, oh, it's fucking amazing. So much adobo. Anyway, but at the same time, like that. Lentils, though?
I figured out, bro, I'm just learning, there's so many different things there's so many different beans, there's so many different sauces, there's so many different seasonings.
Okay.
You know, it's a journey, bro. Okay. It's a journey. We spent, 26, by the way. You spent.
Young cat, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. I spent the large amount of those years eating a certain way, so naturally, to eat another way, you gotta fucking figure it out.
Right. Me,
personally, I like the whole concept of let's get uncomfortable to learn something. Let's hit this guy up that I like watching and say there's nowhere on the internet you can find even a picture of me, right?
Right.
This is gonna be that. This is my first debut.
Foray.
So let's do it. You know, let's jump into it. Let's learn how to navigate this shit.
Right.
My whole thing is based on the argument. I like animals, all that. But I'm not gonna. If you want to talk to me about it,
I forgot. I didn't even piece together. It's the same shit that Patrice did with plant. Did you read Skinny Bitch?
No, I actually didn't. That wasn't one of his. Pieces
yeah, when he was talking about on O&A.
Really?
For years. Yeah, he talked about being vegan. Did you know he was plant-based for a little while?
I remember listening to him.
Like a year.
He said he tried it, and honestly, it made me a little sad because. Even when I heard certain things he said, it was like, oh man, if only the information that's now you could see it in 1,000 Instagram posts nowadays.
Right.
It wasn't that readily available.
Nor, I'm sure, the technology to make the right food. 10 years ago, when he was vegan for, I think it was
all these things that make it easier.
Right.
They make it easy. Even though they're not technically whole foods, they make it easier.
Right.
They make that whole switch process easier.
Right.
And then those I like to go day by day. Those days where you go for the easy, cheap plant
Oreos.
Yeah, I learned that recently too. When
you can be a fat vegan. I was a fucking fat vegan for like 4 months a few years ago,
bro. So when you learn about these other things, you use them to, you get through that one day.
Right.
Then next day you eat your beans, your rice with your potatoes, your sweet potato, your kale.
Right.
I can still do fucking collard greens. I still do kale like I did collard greens with turkey neck in it. It's the same.
Wait, you don't use
put
turkey.
the turkey neck. It's the same fucking thing, man.
Yeah. Sweet potatoes is one I completely forgot. That would be fucking great.
Yo.
Do you use the synthetic butters?
I not really, but I'll fucking do it if
There's
it's
like
in
an
the
olive
fridge.
oil. Yeah, there's like an olive oil based ones and coconut based ones, and safflower oil and stuff
Those are personal decisions that people make.
Right.
There's data that shows oil's not the greatest thing for your heart.
Right.
Some people say it is.
Right.
Who knows who's right? You got to dig into it. You believe who you feel makes the best argument.
Right.
But all in all,
right.
it is what it is. So when there's information out there, World Health Organization says beef is a carcinogen up there with cigarettes. Is it true? Is it not? I don't know. Do you trust the World Health Organization? I don't think the FDA is a good organization.
Yeah.
Milton Friedman put me onto that 2 or 3 days ago. Environmental organizations don't really help. They hurt.
Right. Because I think the bulk of it is bureaucracy in general.
Yes, absolutely.
Is we need to get my cousin a job and we need to get these other people jobs. So let's give them a title, and there's nothing for them to really do. So let's add more restrictions over here so that someone needs to go there and make sure these other restrictions are getting met. And it's just like restrict, and then punishment. So we have more jobs for people, and it just gets bloated.
Why do you need a license to become a barber? If you know how to cut people's hair and people trust you to cut hair, that keeps people an 18-year-old kid who's like, I just love fucking cutting hair.
Right.
That makes his life harder.
Right.
Where he could start a business and blow up. You get what I'm saying? And you see that in hair, in food, in gyms. There's all these.
And back in the day when there was less connection to reviews, like now it's so much easier to just be like I'm doing with the podcast and with my album, with my music and stuff, to be like, okay, I have a station. It may be belonging to Facebook and YouTube and Google and all these other fucking companies, but I have a station where someone can find me and look at reviews and look at, whatever. Oh, by the way, review and rate the podcast.
Absolutely.
Share it with your friends. Especially those with white guilt. Oh, please share it with your friends with white guilt.
Sir. Yes,
I'm looking
sir.
forward to the fucking angry posts. Actually, I'm looking forward to the angry posts only from, I think white liberals who like me are only going to be, they're going to be mad. They'll be mad at everybody else, but not you. Like, not people who, like, their white guilt overrides their white guilt. It's weird.
It's weird. It's strange, but you'll see instances. There's a guy I follow on Instagram. He walks around with his MAGA hat. Old white man feels brave enough to call him stupid.
Right.
Call him misinformed. Call him.
He's a black guy?
Yeah, he's a black guy.
Right.
A real nigga, as they say. Real hood nigga, right?
Is he that big fucking yoked dude? There's one black guy who wears his MAGA. He's a fucking. He's like
Brandon Tatum. I think he's a.
Oh, Brandon Tatum. Yeah, Brandon Tatum.
He's an army guy, but it's an even more street dude. He goes on Instagram. He smokes his weed. But he talks his shit.
Right.
He talks his shit. But somebody feels comfortable selling him that he's a fucking racist and he supports a white supremacist. So, as Candace Owens likes to say, so you're saying that I'm so dumb, I'm against myself. I support somebody who's actively against me.
Right.
What a horrible fucking way to view the world.
Right.
Like, even if when we get into the whole mentality argument, what a fucking horrible mentality, right? What a horrible mentality to think these people, black people, are so fucking stupid that they need all these handouts instead of hand ups. I like how that's put.
That they can't think for themselves.
They can't think for themselves. They need help to get jobs when originally I found out we were a large part of the construction labor.
Right.
we knew how to do all the shit.
Right.
When the shit ended and they let us go and everything got squared away, who'd they have to call? And we noticed Tom Sowell puts the data in front of you.
Right.
There is no racism in business when you want to save money. When you want to make money, that shit, they will break the law, just like in South Africa.
Right.
Fuck that apartheid shit.
Right.
We're hiring the fucking black guys because they do the same work or better work for cheaper and faster.
Right.
Come on.
But the other thing also is that when it was interesting to learn, I don't remember who the fuck, it might have been actually Larry Elder or Thomas Sowell. Look him up, by the way, Thomas Sowell.
Influential.
Smart motherfucker who has to hide. He lives actually in the Bay. He has to kind of hide where he lives.
Man gets death threats from black people. How just for saying, yo, we can do this shit.
Right.
For saying shit like, did you know when I was a kid, you could fucking walk down the street and go to the park and you wouldn't have nobody worried about shit. There was less crime in black neighborhoods than white neighborhoods. Right. We had we married and we had better marriage rates, less unemployment. Right. Then all of a sudden we start we get these handouts. They get us addicted. It's like fucking meth. Right. They get us on these handouts, and now we're fucked. Right. Now for generations on, we're fucking dope heads for government help. But we hate the government, right? We hate the man, but we need the man. Right. Come on. Right. Come on. Let's fucking think about this for a second.
I think it's a normal progression of somebody, because it makes sense that you guys would be going through an adolescent period. I think that's all it is.
Everybody.
When I was an adolescent, it's like I'm living off of my parents, but I'm angry at my parents, and I went off in a whole nother direction. But like it makes sense to be that way. When I think right now is that, and then when you get into your 20s and especially your mid to late 20s and definitely your 30s, you start realizing, you know what, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold off on getting this quick comfort so that I can have long lasting security and freedom. You know what I mean? Like the discipline kind of equals freedom, like Jocko talks about. Yes. And now it's coming to the point where we, as a fucking government, I don't know how deep into the controversy or
politics.
No, what's the something with a C? What's the one where
I space a lot. I'm a spaceman.
That's that goddamn word. There was a movie, Conspiracy.
Conspiracy. There we go. Fuck.
I don't know how deep into the conspiracy idea I go about, like, it was intentional from way up. You know what I mean? But definitely the government was like, okay, here, we're going to give you this so that you can continue. Even if it was well-intentioned, eventually, now that needed more bureaucracy to hold all. Now the balloon of people who are needing help, now that grows, so we need more people on this end to help those people, and it's just flowers and flowers and flowers. There should be limited government, less government. That's really what Republicans really want. It's not about fucking racism.
Not all of them.
It's about
not all Republicans.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Let me say what the fuck I want to say. That's really, ultimately, I'm fucking libertarian. That's why I call this conservative, because I think guns are fine. Yep. Let me say whatever the fuck I want to say. Yep. Don't make me feel bad because I have a fucking dick. Yeah.
Big one.
Yeah.
Big
don't make me feel bad because I'm part white. Don't tell me that I have to fucking fork over literally 50 to 60% of what I'm fucking of what the money I make. And leave me the fuck alone. That's essentially what we're talking about.
Dope shit. When they lower Thomas Sowell, thank you again. When they lower the fucking taxes, more people fucking pay it instead of just finding ways around it. So we actually bring in more fucking money.
Interesting.
And when you actually break it down into, he's a economics with words instead of numbers. So just like Patrice's philosophy with analogies, it's fucking. It's so simple to follow that when you put it like that, oh shit, that makes a lot of fucking sense. Because as human beings, if you're making a blockade for me, I'm gonna go around it. But shit, if you got a fair price for me to fucking buy it, sure, I'll fucking buy it, no problem. It's way more convenient and everybody wins.
Including and that's on a daily basis too. When I'm walking around, I've lived in cities and worked in cities, and there's a lot of homeless people in cities. And when I have the money and you're not forcing me to give money to that cat, it's like, all right, man, fucking here's $1, whatever. And because you sang a song, or you made a funny sign or whatever. You earned it, but like you kind of, you know, or you're like so far out or whatever. But if you have a fucking 2-string guitar and you're singing the same fucking song for 8 hours just because you need drugs, no, I'm not gonna.
When I started my own business, I had to go door to door talking to people that didn't want to fucking talk to me. The young black kid, my hair was scruffy, I didn't have a haircut. They're like, this kid's trying to come and get me to pay him to do work on the internet for me, do my website, do this, do that. And plain and simple, it's sales skills. So same thing with that's kind of like my philosophy on giving people money. I like to see, what you do for it. That's your thinking. You're working hard. You're a good musician. Turns out, musicians in New York playing in that train station, it's now a dope ass and very lucrative, very good platform. Follow one kid on Instagram. The kid plays violin for fucking weddings. They fly him out, and I saw him in the train station, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was just some down on his luck kid. The kid's living a pretty dope life. I'm not just gonna assume it's all roses and peaches, and his journey was fucking easy. But for a violin, I imagine it's kind of hard being a violinist out here. You might have to settle for what I call the office position of the music world. You have to play something that you don't really want to play.
Or I would hire him for my next album or something like that.
Exactly. And you know about him because he's on Instagram. You saw him in the subway. And he goes out there every fucking morning at the same time and has discipline about it.
So like you were talking about, you spent time going door to door and you fucking earned your keep. I got off work last night and I'm living literally a 40-minute train ride and a 40-minute drive without any traffic and without any hiccups or closed stations or getting on the wrong fucking train or whatever. So I live a long fucking time away. I got off work at 12:30 last night.
Holy shit.
Didn't have a break between 5:30 and 12:30. No cigarettes. I know I did that to myself. I'm not fucking complaining. But like no cigarettes, I think I like snuck a piece of bread in the corner just like and then got off at 2:30 and then or 12:30 got home at about 2:45, 2:30 in the morning. And then didn't get to bed till 4. Got up today at 9:30 so I could get out here. You see what I'm saying? Like I am earning my shit, and there's more value when I earn my shit. And if I just had people like, because I'm getting a lot of support and help in this whole venture of moving out here, and like so many people are like, please,
a big thing in the conservative party, by the way. I'm sorry. I noticed that it is a very welcoming and good feeling. And I'm a very big loner guy until certain things like this. It is so dope when you get to talk about this and you meet people and it's like it's actual what my generation lost. Real friendship. I'll call you just to fucking check in, man. I saw something in the store, I fucking picked it up because I was thinking about you. I'll throw it in the back of my car and I'll give it to you when I see you. You know, how's your mother? How's everybody doing? The simple fucking things. Just because we're trying to be good. We're doing the best we can.
And I think people help out more and have shown up in crazy ways because I wasn't going, I'm moving, patreon.com/conservative. But support. I didn't go like, I'm moving, give me. Like, I didn't go like, hey, I've been performing ruthlessly for the last goddamn 7 years. I have been I've written music and sang music I didn't want to fucking do. I spent time with a mohawk, already, but like I started a goddamn podcast. I'm driving hours, but I'm earning my shit, and therefore afterwards people are like, hey, I see you're working hard here.
Hardest working man in the private entertainment business.
That's what I'm saying. And so ultimately I think that's something that I learned personally, and because of good people in my life who showed me how to do that and showed me the value of that. But if we keep going like, here, money, I'm not even gonna like check if you're like, is this the right social? We just keep pouring money. If people were doing that to me, and when that has happened to me, I have learned to be more manipulative because I am in need in my head, and so I'm gonna be a kind of an energy suck.
Dope shit right here. Before there was welfare, before there was handouts, it was on the churches, these churches that we supposedly call corrupt and they steal and we find out they're embezzling. The demand was on them to take care of the community, because that's that money you give into. I'm not a religious guy in the traditional sense, but that money, I'll give that money in the plate if that means that that's what takes care of everybody's daycare.
Right.
That's what takes care of our, one thing President Trump's, our school vouchers, so that the money follows the kid to the school that we want to go to.
Right.
When I first got to Jersey, when my mom brought us out here, by the way, single parent mom kid right here. When my mom brought us out here, Roselle, the town over, third worst public school in the state. In the state. What options does she have when they say, if you live in this town, you have to live here with incredibly high taxes, by the way. You have to go to school, to this school, or you got to pay for private school. But you can't give me something. You don't want to you want to help education, but I can't go to another town, even if I'm willing to fucking get on a 2-hour bus ride and go to another town because the school is better. Why can't I do that? Why is there a law stopping parents from making that decision for their kids?
Because if that same thing with anything in capitalism, if people stopped going to that school, suddenly the school will be like, oh shit, I guess we have to clean up our act. But now there's so many filters and so many people who we have to pay first. We got to pay this teacher, pay that superintendent. We got to pay.
I'm sure you heard Larry Elder's words on rubber rooms and how hard it is to fire a bad teacher. I just learned it's ridiculously hard to fire bad teachers, to the point where schools they call it, I think, rubber rooms. It's just a place where they show up at the same time all the teachers that teach. They sitting there on their phone. And they can just sit there and collect. But mind you, every Democratic fucking candidate is saying, let's throw more money in their pockets. You can say conspiracy stuff like, is this on purpose? Why? How come every time it's up for a vote do people like Obama, Democrats specifically, oppose all of these school things that would affect these changes that we're talking about? Right. Why?
How much of that voting, though, sometimes I feel like, I think people go into...
It's all good intentions, man.
I think people go into it with good intentions.
I don't think the majority are evil people.
And then even 10, 20 years into politics, they feel like, okay, I really want this good thing to happen, but I have to vote for these 9 things to happen.
Because it's my job.
Because it's my job and because it's my
political suicide.
Right.
I would love for President Trump to go after minimum wage, but as a Trump supporter, I also understand that is political fucking suicide. You understand? So he goes after the easier libertarian things. I would like him to speak about people like Thomas Sowell and Walter Williams and Larry Elder, but he might fuck over that giant, massive black voting base that he's actually turning. It might set it back. It's chess. I came up as a young little chess player at the YMCA for free in Brooklyn back when, you didn't have to, which is like non-existent now. Free program after school. My mom could send me there, no problem. Now it's like fucking $1,000 a week for some people to have their kids looked after. Terrible. But I learned about chess. I learned about strategy. Learned about how to fucking get picked on, get bullied, how to talk to girls, how to get bitches, all it, every fucking thing. You learn it all at once. A competitive environment produces these things.
Right. That's why I feel like the dozens is so important in New York, because like I've talked about a lot, the fact that, and I've experienced this just in the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks that I've been in New York. At first, when I go to Starbucks to get the bagel or whatever, at first it's like, all right, what do you want? It's like abrupt. Yeah, it's not like, hey, how are you?
I don't like fake shit.
Right? But then afterwards, I've had multiple times where people are like, hey, I threw in an extra whatever for you. Like, they're trying to take care of me, and they don't even fucking know me because I tried to, like, everything bagel, cream cheese, blah, blah, blah. And then I also was like funny or whatever, like I was a real human being, and they want to take care of real human beings. So there is, like was talked about and told to me a few different times, a few different ways before I made this decision to move out here, there's a crust. But once you get past that crust, it's a warm, gooey center. And in fucking goddamn California, there's just bland all the way through.
All the way through. I haven't experienced personally. I'm gonna enjoy going out there. Hopefully, when I go out there, maybe you're out there and we have a good time. That's crazy to me that exists, because that is, I don't get angry over big shit. I get over at little shit. Yeah. Fucking people, when you call centers, you call them, and it's like, don't read the fucking script to me.
Right.
Like. I'm giving you the pass. Be a real person. You could curse if you go ahead,
right.
curse. Go ahead, and curse on it. Go crazy.
Right.
We can talk like regular fucking people while you help me with my fucking dumbass Apple iPhone. Right. Simple things, bro. It's we can't demonize humanity. We can't demonize context. We can't demonize guys with dicks who like bitches, and we like going up to them, saying how you doing, you look good, blah blah blah.
Right.
The argument, it's funny how all this stuff just goes through the center line.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I can't even, it's to the point, I don't know if Patrice was my kickoff point, but as I look back on it, it all kind of is like dominoes for me. How everything started is like a YouTube video dominoes, like a book dominoes. I find about this one concept, it links to this concept, and it links to this concept. Patrice's relationship shit leads to conservatism, leads to fucking economics, leads to how you are on the workspace, everything.
When did you first start listening to Patrice? Because I tell you, I didn't find him until after he passed away.
After he passed, bro. After he passed, and I would have loved to been able to just go to the city and fucking, oh my God. Oh, talk about things you wish you could do. Just fucking, oh, he's there tonight. He was up on the radio. He was on Oprah. Oh, fuck it. I'm going to see that.
Right.
Fuck everything else I got to do. I'm going to see that. Especially now I work in the city. By the way, union electrician. If anybody doesn't know, construction work is a fucking good field to get in. And I was fucking hesitant. I wish when I was 18, I was trying to bang a hammer on something. I was trying to learn how to build.
Well, now you're 26, so your life is over, obviously. Now you're an old man.
Now I'm a fucking old man, right?
So literally part of the fucking impetus for, I keep saying the fucking word. I think I understand what it means. A part of the goddamn intention for me was to come out here, and if I could just sit at the Comedy Cellar table and be a part of the Comedy Cellar table and have Colin Quinn and Bobby and Jim Norton make fun of me, I'd die
fucking happy. And if I got one good joke that they said, holy shit, dude. If they said, holy shit, this guy, come on. Now I get around people and I ain't try to shoot the shit with people.
Right.
God, and it's like nobody knows, but you'll find the one golden gem where it's like, this guy can fucking take a joke, and we fucking rip each other to fucking pieces, pieces, and it's a beautiful thing. And this is my fucking guy, You understand?
With love,
because we fucking bled together metaphorically. You get what I'm saying? It's a trial by fire. That's how I learned how to work. I worked at a fucking AMC diner, the dine-in theater, the first one, the biggest one in the fucking country when it first started, bro. 70-hour shifts a week. Fucking loved it. You know why? I'll be honest with you. It was cool people. They let me do my smoke breaks. I was a cook. I could smoke, and they taught me how to fucking work. They kept me working. Fucking 80 burgers, 20 salmon on this side, burgers on this side, shrimp. I got to fucking remember 20 orders in my head. It's a madhouse. Everybody's cursing. But we got the fucking food out. We got the job done. My servers got paid. My managers were happy. And then when I went out and said, yo, I'm going to smoke a fucking joint in the parking lot, no fucking problems. When I came in, I smelled like weed, no fucking problems. You understand?
Because you got the job done.
Because I got the fucking job done.
Right.
And I helped everybody else get the job done. I stayed late. I'll work till fucking 9 a.m, stay overnight, maybe sleep in my car because I wanted to. Open up in the morning, go home, take a nap, come back. Maybe take a break again in the middle of the day, drive back from here, about 20-minute drive, then go back again at midnight just to close the restaurant.
Right.
In my regular clothes, in my fucking, you get what I'm saying? Of course, that's against the rules and regulations or whatever. Fucking, the people, health department, whatever. But we did clean things. We cleaned it, all of that stuff. So all of those things I noticed started to shape this whole mentality. Back to the Thomas Sowell, Larry Elder stuff about what they say, the marriage rate, the home thing. I think that there's some truth to that.
Having a father,
a marriage,
right.
My mom did single mom. She's a fucking terror to deal with in relationships, right? We understand that, but here's what she did. She didn't do. She didn't demonize my father to me. I still got my fucking ass.
And she didn't rely on the government to be your father.
No child support. No fucking. She didn't stop him from being in my life. I got to see my grandparents. I got to see on both sides. When I fucked up in school, you're going to your father. We're going to your father's house. Your cousins are watching you get your fucking ass beat. And then you know what? Oh, we found out you were fucking up in school too. Now I'm sitting there laughing with a sore ass, laughing at you getting your ass beat. And then we fucking eat dinner as a family.
Exactly.
You understand? Then we eat dinner. My mom's there. My dad's there. They're not together, but no problem.
I feel like that's a black thing too, like, or definitely not an Anglo-Saxon thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. There's something. I mean, and white people are good at stuff, but like they're different. Obviously, there's different strengths and whatever.
The marriage destruction thing happened to them too. Not sorry.
Oh no, for sure.
But like, big on them too.
But like, I think maybe it's not in the blood, just the culture, but the sensitivity.
Yes. The
sensitivity of white people. It really makes things. It makes things bright and beautiful. Sometimes movies and art and whatever. But when it comes to interpersonal stuff,
two favorite types of white people. I don't give a fuck what people think. New Yorkers, New York white boys, and fucking European white boys.
All right, what kind of European though?
The ones that
Russian motherfuckers
that don't filter themselves. I'm for not filter.
Okay.
You fucking say it how it is. That's it.
English white people. Well, not from London.
Not
from
talking,
London.
If from London, I'm talking about the guys from the ends, bro. From the real shit.
Snatch.
I'll fucking
lock, stock, two
fucking
smoking
shank
barrels.
This motherfucker. Exactly.
Dealing
bro.
with gypsies and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude.
Irish people, but
Irish
like,
fucking people.
But also those Russians, though, those Eastern Europeans, dude, they're fucking cold face. There was one guy I used to work with. He literally, during his lunch break, because we had phones that would play music or play videos, he would just sit and eat and look at the wall. He wouldn't entertain himself during his lunch break. That's a creep. That's a fucking creep,
That's
dude.
fucking weird to me. It's fucking weird to me. I'll admit that. But goddamn, that man, whatever's happening in that man's head to make him so disciplined, I want a piece of that. Let me get a little of that in my mix. Yeah. Let me get a little of that, because I know that's going to help me.
Yeah. So we should start wrapping up soon. I know it's a short episode, but I got to head to work. But
hopefully you like me enough we can do it again.
Absolutely. You're coming to fucking New York next time.
Yo, no problem. I'm already in the city half the time. After I get off at 3
Once I get into a regular schedule, then I'll be able to handle it better. But the other thing is that like when you got into Patrice and you started opening it up, have you dealt with who's the worst reactions? Has it been mostly what percentage is white people? What percentage is black people? When you've gotten into the conservative or libertarian ideas.
When it comes to even conservative, it's mixed on the relationship kind of Patrice shit. But when it comes to conservative libertarian things, like definitely black people, like whoa. Well, I got called an Uncle Ruckus recently. I don't know
Uncle Ruckus.
I
know Uncle Tom, but
Boondocks, Uncle Ruckus.
I
fucking. You seen Django?
Yeah.
Kind of like how the character Stanley's based off of. Right. Like you just you say a bunch of hyperbolic shit about black people.
So they're calling you a house nigger essentially.
Yeah, but the inverse, not like a snooty ass kisser, more like you was just a crazy ass nigga who you side with these people.
Sellout?
Yeah, kind of like a sellout. Like or I get you're way too smart to be so confused. You're way too smart. I had to argue socialism with somebody the other day, and it's like, bro, I understand that it's all based on good intentions.
Good intentions, absolutely.
And that's how they did it. In fact, that's how they killed millions and billions of people by saying they're coming after you. Right. They're racist. They don't like you. Right. We gotta take them down. Let us do it. And
the goddamn bourgeoisie is the reason. It's the goddamn bourgeoisie. We have to get those down. And then everybody becomes the bourgeoisie. Everybody is like, oh, I'm gonna rat out my cousin because I heard him talking about rebellion. And then the cousin goes away. And then this other guy rats you out. And you're like, I didn't say anything. Too late. You're already gone. You're gone. Now you're in the fucking gulag. So it's. And essentially kind of same thing. I always tie it back to what Patrice said. A bully is never satisfied. When a bully gets your money today, he's not going to come tomorrow and say, hey, thanks for the $1. He's going to say, I want $1.50. I want fucking more blood from you because you gave me power, and that is addicting. Give me
absolute
more.
Power corrupts absolutely. It is. Right. It is. And it's on all of us. Libertarian mindset. It is our own personal responsibility to learn how to fucking check yourself, motherfucker. Right. Check yourself. Right. It is simple. Educate yourself and check yourself. Right. People don't like how one of my things is I believe everything I see. People, especially with the internet, I believe everything. And then I look at them like, you think Hillary Clinton's a fucking reptilian? Okay, let me show me all the fucking videos of the reptilians then, motherfucker. Like, I'll watch it. I'm not gonna go, oh, you think she's a reptilian? That's fucking crazy. I'm never gonna look at it ever again.
All right.
You get what I'm saying? But I'll look at it.
About fucking Hillary and the identity
Same
politics.
Same thing with flat Earth and all that shit.
Identity politics is the fucking worst, and that's why I love like the only real I don't know if I told you or if you saw it on another episode, but the only real like backlash I received from this podcast has been from white liberals who said that, like, one of them especially was that I had did you see the Proud Boy episode? Jared Flores.
I think I caught. But that's one of the ones I.
So Jared, I had him on the show when he anonymously when he was when he was in the Proud Boys, and then I've had him a couple of times after he left. And when I first was gonna have him on, I knew I was gonna piss some people off. I was like, "Hey, I'm about to interview a Proud Boy."
Yeah.
This was like a year ago.
And their controversy, if I'm not mistaken, was they were being framed as Nazis, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And incels. Nazis and incels.
And then a bunch of white liberals got mad at me. One of them even from some group. Listen.
Did they ever type in to, this is my thing. I'm
just gonna say his fucking name. Evan from the Blacksmiths. I'm sorry. Great,
come on, Evan.
great,
what the
great,
fuck, Evan?
Great music producer. Okay. Nice guy. Until this fucking moment, had to unfriend me because I was giving a platform to white supremacists. The fucking former Proud Boy is a Mexican, puro mexicana.
Come on,
mexicano. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's the fucking level of douchebag that we're dealing with. When you have to fucking unfriend somebody before they even fucking listen to the episode. I kept telling him, listen to the fucking episode. He's not a fucking racist. Besides the fact that he's Mexican, he just wanted to be around a bunch of other dudes and talk about. Like, and have a drinking club, essentially like the Eagles or not the Eagles, the what is the motherfuckers with the raccoons? Like,
the fucking Redskins. Right?
No, just like a drinking club, like the American Legion Hall type of shit. He just wanted to be around young motherfuckers.
Fucking Mason brother, like Knights of Columbus.
Exactly. They're just frat boys, really. They call them and they wanted to have funs. They wanted to have a place to drink and talk shit and especially talk shit about feminists and bullshit.
Absolutely.
They're not white fucking supremacists, but these people literally had to unfriend me because they were so appalled. And I sang at fucking Evan's wedding. That's the level of fucking bullshit. And I'm willing to talk to him again if this ever fucking gets to him. But the reality is that
let's talk to those people more.
That's what I'm saying. Like, your white guilt has to. It's got to cancel out. Like, when the fembots like all of a sudden like
malfunction. Fucking
here's a black guy right here
Trump
who's saying,
system.
"Can you please drop the bullshit? Can you drop the white guilt, please? Can you stop with the identity politics at some point in your fucking life?"
It gets us no fucking logic-driven emotion, not emotion-driven logic. Come on.
I like that.
Come on. I think I don't know if I created out of my own head listening to Patrice or Patrice said that one. He might have fucking said that one.
He's like, he can't come after you.
But you know what I'm saying? I always pay my respect. I always pay homage.
I
got stuff. I get stuff from you. There's stuff I'm sure in my repertoire is something you said that I take. Shout out.
I'm incredible.
Shout out to Good Girl. Shout out to the lady MAGA Trump supporter. Shout out to
Lily
God.
Akapova.
Shout out to the one you did 2 days, not the New York one, the dude with the fucking mask. I was going through that one yesterday.
Oh, the good girl's boyfriend?
Yes. Oh my God, what a good fucking just dope to hear it. Yeah. Just fucking that. My main thing against identity politics is in their world, we lose all of that. There's no room for that type of conversation that you had in their world. and I can't do that.
I
I can't live in that world.
Because I really, ultimately, I trust people enough, and this is something I've been practicing saying, I trust the audience to know context.
Yes.
I refuse to dumb it down. I refuse to say, you know what? These people are too stupid. I better not say this word. I better not try this idea or this topic. I better not. Fuck that. I know that you know better, because you know currently liberals who are listening to the show, you know conservatives and libertarians who are cool, who are fine, who are you hang out with them at school, you hang out with them at college, you hang out with them at work. It's fucking relax. Fucking breathe, motherfucker.
Most of the problem, I'll say, is not understanding.
White liberals are the fucking problem.
No, liberals
are.
White
liberals are worse.
They're worse because of the arrogance in their argument. Thomas Sowell calls it the view of the anointed. They take the moral. There is no arguing with them because your argument comes from a place of evil.
Right. I put it as white liberal women. White liberal men, although they don't have a lot of power, they're just like, yes, please fuck me. And then and then black college girls, college black,
which are the most, which have the biggest population in college. Things like affirmative action actually fucks us.
And they're able to sway all the little white girls who are afraid. I saw it the other day. God damn it, we have to stop at some point. But I saw it the other day on the train. Some guy who I'm sure was being a creep. I didn't fucking see it. But this little white girl, nose ring, hair, hipster Brooklyn, whatever. When we were actually on our way to Brooklyn, she was saying like, you're not allowed to take pictures of people in the train. I guess this guy was like being a creep and taking pictures. Now, I didn't know what he was doing. He probably was being a creep. But he was like, no, you are allowed to take pictures of people because it's in public. No, you're not. Blah, 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 blah. This is da, 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 da. And she's all going off on him because he's a white guy. And all of a sudden, he gets off the train. A black girl who obviously knew her stuff. She's like, actually, nah, I support in what you're doing, but you are allowed to take pictures. And all of a sudden, her whole mind shit changed. And the white girl with the nose ring was like, yeah, I know. But, you're right.
Like she said, who do they ever take responsibility fully?
The white girl with the nose ring was like, I have all the power with you. Now, I'm saying he probably was being a creep. And if I saw it, I would have said something. But like, all of a sudden, I have all the power, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, the black girl comes into your position. You're right. I'm sorry. Because it's all hierarchy. Fuck hierarchy.
Fuck it.
Fuck
people
hierarchy.
value your fucking thoughts more than your feelings. Personally, check your
and value
thoughts.
Yourself.
Absolutely.
Trust yourself. Your gut. Do your research like this motherfucker.
Like I said earlier to you, I like to say it on camera. Links in description YouTube. And that's for everybody. The people that argue that I think have the best vegan arguments. Also, I personally, by the way, I see you talking about abortion a lot. I'm pro-choice because I think this guy named Vegan Gains he put me on to probably one of the best arguments for it. That probably most pro-choice people would be like, that's a weird way to put it.
Man, we got to wrap up. Now, I'm going to clarify, though. I'm not saying I'm pro-life, but I'm saying similar to what Patrice used to say. Kill your baby. I don't give a shit. Kill it. But call it a fucking baby. And it is goddamn. It is a separate living life. It may be inside your puss, but it is a separate living life, and honestly should be at least viewed that way.
And when the data's laid out, it supports that. It supports on the basis of two things. Sentience forming when the cerebral cortex, blah, blah, blah. Right. That's when sentience arrives. Right. And bodily autonomy, a libertarian thing, Right. And then you find out things like, instead of aborting, why not induce this? Things like knowing about inducing pregnancy and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You get into all these little subcategories. And there is answers to these questions, but we can't get to them unless we talk about it, right? We can't. That's what I was saying before. Pretty much everybody, I have their opinion on one thing. I can find one thing that I don't. Right. Like I want to see my plant-based guy fight you on this, but then I want to see you destroy that motherfucker in politics. Right. I want to see, because I think the gladiator gladiator YouTube is what I call it, is the greatest thing for thought, for everything. Right. Let's sit down and boop 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 boop, and then we come to greatest thing about Patrice. What really gets you is when he has 3 women in the fucking room. destroys them. Every question that you would say, nah, maybe he's not too right about this, and then he's like, oh shit, yeah, fuck, yeah.
Yeah, he had a great way of breaking down what he's saying.
And Dante too.
Similar to like Dante's fucking great too.
Amazing.
But like as an example, same thing we were talking about. We all have strengths and problems. So Ben Shapiro, I would love him to be like a fucking little Jewish lawyer, just like get out to actually, right? But am I gonna listen to him talk about fucking? No, hell no.
I'm not gonna take his
probably
fucking
never touched a
advice.
butthole in his life.
I think Bill Burr's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
Think he should have listened to Patrice about relationships.
Absolutely.
But but he also is married, and it's fucking amazing. I'm now getting around to. I used to be like, fuck marriage. Now I'm starting to see.
Oh yeah.
See,
that's that 26 shit, man. That's
but
that 26 shit.
But you got to think about it where it's like, yeah, let me wait until I'm 35 though. Let me make a woman earn it. Let me you got to be with me. My thing I like to say to people is, and maybe it's hyperbolic, you got to be with me for 20 years before I get on that. You got to be
so Patrice.
That's
just fucking
that's
a page out of his book.
Fucking battlefield, bro.
Right.
But is it a bad argument when I say that to people? They're like, even married people go, shit, man. I wish every divorced person I go, shit, man. I wish I fucking stay go smart kid. White, black, Spanish, Asian, everybody. Right. You're a smart fucking kid for that one.
Right.
Good fucking decision.
Right. Anyway.
Good fucking decision. And that's just how it streamlines through everything I think. Like I said, I love to be wrong. I think it'd be so easy to be wrong. Trump's a racist. All these things would be easy. But at the same time, who the fuck wants the fucking easy way out? Who wants to just be handled and manipulated and dealt with? Nah, I wanna battle for mine. I want to earn mine, because that feels way fucking better at the end of the day. When you're fucking a bitch and you fucking worked for it, and she's laying there fucking shaking, and she's you get some chips, you get some ice cream out of the fridge, and turn on some TV. Yeah, go ahead and fall asleep, dummy. You fucking idiot. You look at you. You're sitting there like a bobblehead, and it's okay. I love it because I did it. I worked for it. You know, it all wraps into the same shit, dude. It's so.
This has been fucking great, man. Thank you so much for doing this. I hope
I gave you good content, brother.
Yeah, I want to talk about next time a couple of things, obviously. I definitely want to talk more about the abortion thing.
Yes.
But also the Tulsi Hillary thing.
Yes.
The Tulsi Hillary thing. And yeah, I kind of like her too.
I fucking like
her. I don't mind Yang a little bit too.
Yeah, let's put it, like someone put it, I'd love to see 4 more years of Trump with Tulsi and Yang in there. But with them, let's work together. If not, and then after that, let's see Tulsi take over. Then let's see. Yeah. And then, like, why? Let's, like I said, what we just did here is I call building. I take that from the Hebrew Israelite guys. Let's build, brother. I always make fun of those. You feel me? I always make fun of motherfuckers all because all nigga brothers, brother man, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Right. But yo, let's build. Let's sit here and talk. Some of my friends, we call it politicking, whatever words you want to use, chopping it up. Right. Let's fucking do it. Let's pile on top of everything we got and make something that's based on real fucking logic, facts, critical thinking, empirical evidence. If you don't know what these means, Google them. It's great to know. Context. Great thing to Google. Fucking keep it in your pocket if you don't know the definition. Right. And remember it, especially to you fucking liberals, because you guys are literally killing context. Patrice prophesized it. You guys are shooting context in the head.
And I fucking refuse.
And nope, I'm not going out like that. I will. This is where this is the hill I'll die on. And people like me and you, that's where we'll plant our flag. We did this. You guys aren't taking this from us, bro. Right. You aren't taking this, bro.
Isaiah, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Do you want to plug anything?
You can find me on Instagram at NJ Local Merch. I barely know my shit. Twitter at NTH Master. The reason behind that is master student. That's why I consider myself master. You know, the true master is always a student. You know, stuff like that, man. And that's before all these things were before I got put on to. So all of that. And let's talk. Let's talk. And I hope you have me on again. Yeah, I'd love to, man. This was great. I'm feeling comfortable in front of the camera. This was dope, man. And I hope, I'd like to say it here. I'd like to, when I get more time, help you out with editing. I don't know if you know about outsourcing. I don't know if you know about things like Upwork. there's some dope ways to get some work done out here that could. I know you were having some troubles. You said editing's rough. Bro, there's ways to get it done.
Well, the other thing is with this episode, I'm gonna put it out on Monday in the middle of the day. Fuck this staying up on Sunday night after I'm about to do a double tomorrow until fuck this staying up until goddamn 4:00 in the morning on Sunday.
No, man, we need high quality Peter. Do what you need to do to make sure you're good, so that we can get this thing done. Cause I think platforms like yours, it's going places, bro. It goes big places that matter. It goes big places that matter.
Thank you.
So let's do it, man.
You can find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano, Feliciano. You can support this podcast and all my musical endeavors at patreon.com/conservatish or just Venmo me, Peter-Feliciano. And you can buy my album, download it, stream it, whatever the fuck, on iTunes, Spotify, wherever. It's just called Peter Feliciano. Just search it. You'll see my weird face with blood on it. And by the way, the picture of that is not me eating an orange. It's me biting my lip.
Amazing picture. And
then what else? I don't have any shows coming up, although I may be on some as an audience member on prominent podcasts, like poking my head in, because I'm hungry. I'm hungry for that shit. I came out here to do it, and I'm gonna start ramping that up soon.
Let's jump into it.
Fuck yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Conservatish. Thank you so much, Isaiah. Appreciate you, sir.
Appreciate you, sir.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one, everybody.